impromptu speaking, essentially what you do is you get a quote, you have about 2 minutes to write up a speech for that said quote, and then you deliver it within your 5 minutes remaining. So 7 minutes total. Ideally with this event, what you want to do is you want to aim for a 1.5 minute prep time, and you don't want to use any personal ideas or experiences. You want to use things that people can relate to. And with this event, what you need to do is you need to break it up into 2 subcategories of your interpretation of the quotation, so why your quotation is correct or why it is incorrect, and then you support it with real life issues from what's occurring. So it's a pretty easy event once you get it under your belt, but it does take quite a bit of practice to get your mind quick and that fast for your quote and being able to interpret it.
For after dinner speaking, what I would recommend would just be to write a persuasive speech, just how you would normal, and then add in the jokes later. Make sure that you're really passionate about the subject so it interests you and that you can actually be enthusiastic about it. And then once everything is done, it's important just to go through your speech as many times as you can for memorization and just have fun with it. Bring lots of energy and just go for it.
For my duo, my partner and I kind of try to take a more lighthearted approach to the duo. A lot of duos sometimes are really serious and sometimes dramatic and sad even, and we wanted to take like a more fun approach to it. So we did a Mean Girls and Breakfast Club kind of mashup with some poetry in there to kind of reflect about how society treats certain people and that kind of issues. For overall advice, I would say just practice a lot. With my duo, sometimes me and my partner couldn't meet, and it was so hard to practice because we would both have to work around our schedules and get together and just practice as much as you can. It really does help and gets you more comfortable with the characters that you're doing. Like in my ploy and my duo, helps bring those characters out and makes you more comfortable with the whole thing, so practice.
Starting with drama, we basically pick different genres or pieces that we want to do from different authors or just one, and you can piece it together just by like what you want and what you think would be great to perform with the piece. It doesn't necessarily have to be sad like most dramas are sometimes, but in college I would suggest more of like a comical view and then end with a good lesson to it that could be sad or could not be. With my piece it was mostly comical and I had more fun with it because everyone else could have more fun rather than just sit there listen to something really sad. But when it has meaning to it at the end, it's more fun, and I think I'm going to try that next year.
For info, I just approached it with finding topics that I was passionate about. I picked an environmental issue, but I wanted to do one that was more unique, so I didn't go with like the classic global warming issue. I went with a topic called power to gas that was more unique to the environmental world, I guess.
Communication analysis. With this event, I got it up in the last couple seconds, but ideally what you do is you're able to apply a communication analysis theory to some aspect of culture or aspect of life, and it's really cool and really interesting in the way that you see how communication does affect various aspects of life. And this is just a 7 to 10 minute speech that's pretty much the same speech you give over and over again once you have it down, and memorization is a big key of this.
With persuasive speaking, so this one you can write your own piece. It can be on whatever you want as long as it's persuasive, and that's the basic meaning of persuasive speaking. And so make sure it's in an essay format, and you have to have a good intro to hook your audience.
For prose, it was a little bit more challenging. You find a book or any piece of literature that you really enjoy, and then I read it once for fun, just all the way through, and then when I read it the second time, I started blocking out pieces that I actually liked. And then I was lucky enough because I had a movie with my book, so I watched the movie just to get a little bit more inspiration for like character development and that sort of thing. And then again, you just cut the pieces into one full story, put it in your book, and go from there.
Second event that I did was extemporaneous speaking, where you have a half hour to prepare and you have to perform a 7-minute speech on a question. With this question, you need to determine whether you're going to agree or disagree, or explain how the question is correct or incorrect. With this, what you need to see is that it takes a lot of prep time because you have to be constantly downloading articles to use as support. Usually what you want to do is do a 3-point system within this, but within this 3-point system you need to have supporting articles to prove or disprove your claims. And again, it just takes a lot of time trying to support up and build up a base of articles that's enough. Typically you need about 40 to 100 articles per week to be kind of up to game and to be aware of current events. It's a great event if you want to understand what's happening in the world and be up to date and a logical person.
For POI, I picked, again, topics that I was passionate about. I work in retail, so I did my topic on customer service and how different people treat retail workers and just that whole kind of world of retail and customer service and how kind of frustrating it is sometimes.
Poetry, what I was told to do was to get a bunch of poems that you like, that you feel passionate about. For instance, I did teaching since I'm going to be a teacher, and I got a whole bunch of poems that I liked about teaching, and then I had to get poetry that was the opposite, so that didn't really stand for teaching and that didn't really think it was necessary, and then you combine them for an overall program and make sure that it flows, and then of course you put it in your book and go from there.